How's it going? Professor Fish Tanks here, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing. What, you may ask? The new Fluval Betta Premium Aquarium Kit. So stay tuned. So for those of you that might not know, Fluval recently came out with a new aquarium. It's very similar to their spec line, but it is specifically designed to house bettas. But I don't think there would be any reason why you wouldn't want to keep any other nano fish in here. But it's specifically geared towards bettas. I got this online through Petco. I had it shipped to my house. Took a little while, but you know, carriers are backed up, so it's not that big of a deal. But this tank is going to be replacing the elive aqua duo 3-gallon bow front tank that I had in my dining room. Did great for me for a while, but I wanted to change up some things, and the beta tank came out, and I really want to test it out, see how it does. And then this tank is actually going to be a great leeway into our topic for another couple of videos, which will be dedicated to bettas, where they're from, the history of bettas, the biology, ecology, all that fun stuff. So if you're interested in that, make sure to keep an eye out for that. So I'm gonna open up the box, I'm gonna take the tank out, and we'll go from there. And here it is, a really nice tank, well packaged, I'll have to say. And as you can see, first of all, comes with an instruction booklet. Might need that later on. But as you can see, it's a pretty sleek design. Now this tank is a 2.6 gallon, which I cannot emphasize enough is probably the smallest size tank that I would recommend for a beta. Always want to go bigger, but this one in particular is 2.6 gallons. And from what I hear, when they say 2.6 gallons, they're referencing this section, the main section, not the filter section in the back, which I'm gonna talk about in just a second. But first I wanted to talk about what this tank comes with. So first of all, it comes with a lid, and it has an opening in the middle. This is for the light, as well as a way to feed your beta, I assume. And it's made out of plastic, not glass. And we got 2 boxes in here. One of them, I'm assuming, is the light. So we can take a look at that. I did open this box up when I first got it, just to make sure there weren't anything damaged. Okay, so this one is a pump. This is the return pump. And so that means this should be the light. Interesting. So it's a USB light, so it has its own adapter with the USB port. That's interesting. And here is the light. Let me see if I can take this bag out. Here it is. Pretty sleek. And lightweight, I might have to say. So this basically clips on to the back of the tank. And then you can see here they have lights. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 LEDs. Now this light is not meant to grow, you know, high light demanding plants by any means. This one I would recommend if you're going to put any plants in here. Easy to maintain plants, epiphytes like your Nubius, Bucephalandra, Java fern. Those are not only epiphytes and beginner plants, but they're also plants that you don't really need that much of a light. And then any other plants that are low light demanding, you can easily keep in here. Not only that, but also don't really need CO2. I mean, you can hook up CO2 to this thing, but why make it more complicated? I mean, this is 2.6 gallons. I have another, you know, nano tank, the 5-liter Dennerlay tank that I have CO2 hooked up to. So, but for this one in particular, I'm not planning on hooking any CO2 to it. But that's my advice for planting for this tank. With this light, you want to go easy, low light demanding plants like your Anubias epiphytes, things like that. What's interesting with this light also is it's a touch, has touch capability. So you just tap on this and the light turns on, turns off, all that fun stuff. And then I guess you can hook up the light to a timer. So this does not have built-in timer capabilities, so you would have to hook it up to a timer, which is something that I probably will do. So that's that. And then let's see. Oh, also it comes with a little Fluval sticker. Definitely will keep that. So hopefully you guys can see. Sorry for the glare. But basically, it's a similar shape and design to the spec tanks. Believe it or not, I have not kept a Fluval spec aquarium before. This is my first time keeping an aquarium like that. But they basically did some modifications to it. So the weir on the side, the intake on the side, first of all, this is an all-in-one tank, so the filtration is built into this tank. And you have the intake, which is basically almost closed down to here. They've given you a little bit of space for substrate and things like that, but it's basically to get as much of a water flow through the back chamber, which I think is really interesting and gives a more surface area, if you will, for filtration rather than just having it on the top here. And then going on the back, so one thing that's interesting is they have like a little black, I can't really remember what you would call this, but they basically have something on here that makes the filtration compartment out of view, and it'll also hide any water lines or hard water stains, things like that. So in terms of filtration, pretty standard with your Fluval built-in filtration. Comes with a sponge that'll work as your not only your mechanical filtration but your biological filtration as well. That's where the bacteria colonize. But then it has compartments built in for your chemical media, your carbon, as well as your biological media right here. So this I'm definitely gonna probably use in here. And then this also comes with a handle to easily move it in or out. Now, chemical media like activated carbon, this has its uses. You can definitely use it for your startup. It removes different chemicals from the media, especially if you're medicating a tank. This comes in handy to remove any medications, things like that. But it doesn't last long. I think I would say after like about a week or so, you would have to toss this out. And then it doesn't suit any filtration purposes other than removing certain contaminants in the water. So I'm gonna pop that up in there. So yeah, so the water comes in from here. You can kind of see the weir in the back. Comes in through here, gets filtered through here, and then this chamber here is also weird a little bit. Don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see it from here. So you can see those little teeth, if you will. So the water will come through here, and then it'll move down that way. And from there, you have a couple of things going on. Whoops. Let me plop that back in there. Let's see what else they've got in here. Okay. Now this is actually cool. I want to talk about this because I've been hoping for somebody to make a filter like this. If I can, first of all, figure out how to open this thing. Wow, they sealed it. And I'll just rip it. There we go. So this, I want to say, is a new product. I don't think Fluval has had this before. Now, bettas, and I'll talk about more in a future video about betta care, but bettas need warm water. They're tropical species. They're from the tropics of Asia. Relatively warm water, you know, even up close to 80 works for them. But what Fluval has made for this tank is they've came out with a preset heater, meaning there's no controllability of what you need to set it to. It's already preset. And it also has a built-in thermostat. Now, from my understanding, heaters like this, or as small as this, that are designed for like nano tanks, especially like betta tanks, things like that, from my understanding, do not have a internal thermostat, which means when you plug a heater, when that heater in, it stays on until you unplug it. Or you can hook it up to like a temperature probe that after it reaches a certain temperature, it'll shut off that heater. But this one has that built-in capability, and even has an indicator light right there. So when that light turns on, you know the heater is warming up, and then when it turns off, it means the tank is up to the temperature that this is preset to. Now this heater, and Fluval, if you're watching, I doubt you are, but you might want to have this available separately as well. Still have it with the tank, but also offer it separately, because this definitely can come in handy for nano tanks. As a matter of fact, if they had this as a separate purchased heater, I would have actually put that into my nano shrimp tank, because right now it has that tetra heater, which is a little unpleasant to the eye in my opinion. This one in particular I would definitely like. So I'm hoping in the future that Fluval would have this available as a separate purchase. But in the meantime, this is for this tank, and basically they also have a compartment right here, oops, right here. That's where this will come into play. So you've got your heater, instead of having it in the main tank, it's in the background. So it keeps, you know, equipment out of sight, which is really cool. So I was really excited about this heater, and really excited to see how well it maintains temperature. So it goes through here, goes through the heater, and then from the heater it goes to your return chamber. Now the return chamber is also something very interesting that they have done. So I already showed you guys the pump. The pump will be here, and attached to that pump will be this thing right here. Now this is an interesting filtration system. So on the front, you can see, again, sorry for the glare, you can kind of see the weirs to bring the water out. Now if you guys are familiar with the other Fluval tanks, the specs, the flex, things like that, they have nozzles for their return. Now for this tank, they actually decided to change it up. Now the reason they did this is bettas, they don't like fast flowing water. And so with a nozzle, the old style that they had, you're getting fast flow, and it's not really that suitable for bettas long term. And so what they've done is they've created what they're calling a diffusion chamber. And so water comes up from the pump here, and they have another like pre-filter. I might actually replace this with just a regular sponge, and then just periodically take it out to clean. But basically, they have little chamber here that you can slide this into place like so, and basically water will come out through here, and it's supposed to diffuse the water. So instead of like jets of water coming out, it's just gradually coming out at a slower pace, if you will, diffused pace, if you will. And it's supposed to make it more easier for the bettas, because bettas, they're found in the wild, in rice paddy fields, very slow to stagnant water. And with a lot of the domesticated bettas with the long fins and things like that, just having a high flow water is going to be very difficult for them. And so that's something that Fluval kind of designed. This entire tank is basically designed putting into mind where bettas come from, and just husbandry that has been, perfected, if you will, throughout the years. We know more about how to maintain and keep bettas now than we did, 10, 12 years ago. When I was first starting off, I thought you can easily keep a betta in a bowl. Not anymore. But it gives you an idea of how far we've come. So that is pretty much it for this tank. I actually want to plop this guy in here. Now what's interesting with this light is it's kind of forked so that it doesn't interfere with the divider, which I thought was cool, but let's try. But there we go. And there you go. That's the light. I don't know, my OCD is going a little crackers. I think this isn't really flat straight. It kind of pitches a little bit up, and it's just kind of bothering my OCD, but that's okay. Another thing I wanted to kind of mention, for those of you who do have OCD, to try and get this light in the middle, they actually have a pattern on here that allows you to kind of know where to clip on the light. I mean, you can, even without it, you can figure it out, but it's there. And now I can't get this on. There we go. So you just slide it into place. There you go. Yeah, it's okay. And that's it. This heater would go into the chamber back here, and then you've got your lid. And what I like about the lid as well, and there you go, is that it also kind of covers the back chamber, which is really cool. So that's interesting. It's a really nice build tank. I like it so far. It's a glass build. The tank itself is glass, with the chamber and everything. The lid and the light is the only plastic thing really here. Excuse me. But that's pretty much it. So this tank is actually going to be in my dining room. We have a little countertop table, excuse me, in our dining room that I'm gonna put this guy on, and I'm gonna aquascape it. If you guys are interested in what plants I'm gonna use, how I'm gonna aquascape it, I am gonna be making a video, but it's not gonna be on this channel. It is gonna be on my business's channel, Atlantic Aquariums. So I'll post a link in the description below when that video comes up, or just a link to the channel so you guys can keep an eye on that. But that is where I'm going to be making a video on how I'm going to aquascape it, what the supplies I'm going to use, what plants I'm going to use in that aquascape. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and follow that channel as well. And in this video, in the description below, feel free to jot down what kind of plants you think will be good in this tank. I kind of have an idea, but I always like some input. So let me know what you guys think, and also let me know what kind of betta I should keep. I also have an idea of what kind of betta I want to do or keep in here, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? What kind of betta would you keep in this setup? So with that being said, I hope all of you have a wonderful new year. Hopefully a bit better than last year. And stay strong, stay healthy, keep on maintaining your tanks. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.